everyone, welcome back to today's value plays for DraftKings and FanDuel NBA DFS. Today is the 21st of December, and we're looking at an 8-game slate. So far, it's looking like a lot of Vegas lines are kind of pokey coming in, so I won't have that information exactly on hand here bright and early in the morning, but we'll work with what we got. A few really good games last night that actually went to overtime. The Bucks and the Cavs game in particular, and they actually play each other tonight once again. So that's going to be a game that you're going to really want to pay close attention to. It's a nice early tip, so that's good. You'll have lineups and information early on which players will sit, if any. You have to assume some will in the Cavs case, or even the Bucks. If that's the case, you got to look for value there. It's going to pop up throughout the day. But we're going to be working with what we got here and assuming that everyone's a full go, at least at this point. Otherwise, the games look pretty relatively evenly matched here. You got OKC against the Pelicans, the Wizards against the Bulls, the Rockets against the Suns, and the T-Wolves against the Hawks, Grizzlies against the Pistons, and let's see here, the Kings against the Jazz, it looks like are the matchups. So, a lot of good big names on hand. A lot of ones are missing as well. You don't have the Warriors are not on the dock tonight, so a lot of those guys will be missed in lineups. But that gives you room to get other guys in there, particularly like guys like Westbrook. So let's get looking into this here. Let's see, for point guard, we're going to start off here for value play. I'm going to look at Darren Collison. He's just been one of my favorite plug-and plays in a way for value when I need it at the point guard position. It's just hard to deny what he's been able to kind of consistently do with the minutes. He had one dud here over his last four, that 7.75 game, but last night even he wasn't fantastic in Portland. He had 17.75 DK points, but before that, 24.5, 23.5, 27.5, and 23.7 points, all when he's averaging about 28 minutes or so. Tonight, I think we're looking at him getting a full load here, 34 minutes, and his usage rate's 17.5. So Collison's definitely involved in this offense, and it's going to be a slower paced game with the Jazz, but I think he's still a great play. 4,400 on DraftKings, just a solid option. Safe option for your point guard position if that's what you are looking for paying down at. The other option I'm looking at is a little bit riskier after the overtime game, but Della Vedova is another solid option here. I think he played almost 40 minutes last night, so that's a concern. He may play a little less minutes or even be one of the players who rests if they decide to go that route. But he's been he played 39 minutes last night and he shot 3 for 10, but he still put up 20 points. So Delly gets it done in so many other ways besides shooting. That he's not really a safe play, but he's consistent enough. And if he does play 30 minutes or so, he can do some real damage. And you gotta admit that the 21st DVP is a little tempting again. With the Cavs, especially if they're resting their starters. You just got to play matchups, and this game's just going to be a hard one to monitor or really plug and play at this point. I think it's just we got to wait for the lineups, wait for the guys getting sitting, and try to roll with that. But yeah, right now we got him estimated at 29 minutes, and he's averaging 0.96 fantasy points a minute. So at 3,800 on DraftKings, you could definitely do a lot worse than Della Vedova for a value play. But at this point, I think Collison's my guy, top option for the point guard value tonight. All right, let's move into the shooting guard, where I'm going to be looking at Garrett Temple. He may actually be coming off the bench again. For whatever reason, he came off the bench the other night, even though he was playing very well. And now that the illnesses may pass with Caspi and he may be relegated back to the bench and take a minute's hit. But I think Temple is a solid play, and his price is still very good. It's went down actually. He's 4,300 on DraftKings at this moment. Um, he put up 17.25 last night, and then the 2 games previous though he was a monster. 26.8, 35, 31 points. Um, so he's a solid play, and even if he is coming off the bench when he's on the court, he's a high usage guy. He can do some real damage in a limited amount of time. Last night, for example, he only played 24 minutes and put up only 17 points. He only took 3 shots, which is a little bit of a surprise. The night before, he shot even worse. He was 1 for 10. So yeah, if his shot's not falling, it can hurt his value a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, he gets it done. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and a steal in 24 minutes last night. So yeah, I'm liking Garrett Temple as a shooting guard value play tonight. The other guy I'm looking at is actually possibly Malcolm Brogdon for the Bucks. I think he's going to get some run tonight. Like I was saying, after the overtime game, I think he's going to be getting some extra minutes, and he's able to work with the second unit and really eat up some of that usage. His usage rate's 15.37, and he's averaging just under a fantasy point a minute. So at this point, we got him projected at 22 minutes. That could be, like I said, an uptick, especially if a guy like Alphabet or Giannis sit tonight for some reason, or Dellavedova. Either of those guys sit, Brogdon's usage and minutes should go up. He's almost min salary, is 3,100, and so yeah, we got him projected at 21.6 DK points tonight. So that's really solid and kind of sneaky value play there. I don't know if I'd use him in cash games necessarily unless you find out the injury or rest news early enough. But GPP, I think he's a really solid value play. Dirt cheap. It's going to help you get a guy like Westbrook in your lineups tonight. So you can't really go wrong there. We got him, projected at 21.6 points in 22 minutes tonight. So Malcolm Brogdon, put that name on your list. Even if he's not starting, he should get plenty of run tonight in this back-to-back post-overtime matchup. All right, small forward now. We're going to move on. I'm actually looking at the guy they call DFS, Dorial Finney-Smith. I think he's in a good spot here tonight. He is averaging, or let's see here, he's averaging 12.5 fantasy points on the year. He's only 3,600 or 3,800. His price went up a little bit since he's been seeing more minutes. But he put up 11.5 last night on 26 minutes, or not last night, but Sunday night. Not great. He played 26 minutes, 11.5 DK points. A little kind of disappointing night for him after he came off the big game, 26 points against Sacramento. So yeah, he's kind of a roller coaster ride, but I think tonight he's in a really good spot here. Portland's ranked 29th against the position, a small forward. It should be a fast-paced game. So I think Finney-Smith's going to see some minutes, and I think he's going to be able to produce and make value relatively easy tonight. Of course, there's always a risk. I think he's more of a GPP play, but with value play, sometimes that's what the name of the game is. You got to take risks. There's really no safe value play who's under 4,000. Finney-Smith's 3,800, like I said, on DraftKings. So he's well worth the shot. The other guy I'm looking at is Andre Roberson. I think he's gonna be able to meet value tonight as well. He's just kind of been a consistent player. For what he can do. He's not a high ceiling guy, but he's a guy who's going to be able to produce night in, night out. And he gets the minutes. That's the most appealing part when it comes to Roberson. He actually had a really nice game on the 19th on Monday in Atlanta. 23.75 points on DK in about 40 minutes, and then the night before, 35 minutes, 18.75. So Roberson, he gets the minutes. His usage isn't great. It's 10.57, but we got him projected for 33 minutes tonight. He's facing the 15th ranked DVP team, and he's projected at almost 24 points. So you'll take that at that price, 4,100. That's just under 6x. So tonight, Dorial Finney-Smith and Andre Roberson are my small forward values. I'm going to be going with Roberson as my top option. Finney-Smith, maybe more of a GPP kind of dart if need be. But likely this is going to be a position I'm probably going to be paying up for. At least on FanDuel, I'm going to get at least one of the big name guys in there tonight. All right, on to power forward. I'm looking at Dwight Powell. He has been playing very well as of late. I guess his last game actually was on Monday against Denver. He had 30.25 points in 29 minutes. So he didn't play a heavy load of minutes, but man, did he score. He was doing very well. He had 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 3 blocks, along with 11 real points. That's kind of what his MO is. Maybe not the 9 or almost double-digit rebounds, but he's been averaging 6, 4, 6, 5 rebounds a night. So knock that down a little bit. You give him about that 8 to 10 point range every night, and he's kind of one of the more consistent Maverick players. Tonight, let's see, what do we got him projected at? We have him projected at 23.23 DraftKings points in about 23 minutes, which is about right. Fantasy point a minute, he's averaging over that, and his usage rate's a 16.98. 30th ranked DVP, another fantastic drill-worthy matchup. So yeah, I'm liking Dwight Powell a lot as my top value pick for power forward. Alright, and the other option is Terrence Jones. He's actually playing very well coming off the bench, or even starting in some cases alongside Boogie Cousins. But he's been playing very well as well. With 30 minutes in his last game, he put up 34.5 DraftKings points. The game before, he only played 17 minutes, but he still had 17.5. Pretty much, he's almost dead on all season long for a fantasy point a minute. Tonight we got him projected at 23.3 points, and yeah, what you'd expect, 24 minutes of playing. His usage rate's 16.97, so he's definitely, whether he's off the bench or on the floor, he's still heavily involved. Matchup's not great tonight, 14th ranked DVP in the Thunder, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. I think he's going to be getting plenty of run. And he's in a good spot here as well. So power forward, if there's one position tonight I might be looking just to pay down on, it's power forward. May even go crazy enough to roster both Jones and Powell tonight and just load up at those other center and point guard positions. Speaking of center, have one I think really good. He's probably going to be pretty chalky tonight. Value play. It is Mike Muscala. He's only 3,600 on DraftKings tonight, and he's just been getting a lot of play time now that with injuries and whatnot. I think Howard is maybe still game time decision. He could be questionable at this point, but keep an eye on that. But I'm having a feeling Howard's not going to play, and if that's the case, Muscala should be getting some significant run. He's let's see here. Let's see what he's projected at tonight. He is projected to have 21.9 DraftKings points in about 24 minutes of play. So that's solid output at his cost of 3,600. You're going to take that every time and run with it. It's almost 6x, 14.5 usage rate, and yeah, the spread's not out in this one against the T-Wolves. It should be a somewhat tough matchup against the bigs in Minnesota with Gorgie Dang there and Karl Anthony Towns, but Muscala, as long as he's getting the minutes that we're projecting, he's been averaging, just under a fantasy point a minute, 0.91. So Muscala can get it done. And with that, those are your value plays, at least for now. Be sure to stay tuned for the GPP green light post I'll be having coming out later in the day. There may be some more value plays or sneaks if there's sneaky options, if there are some updates to injuries and rest and whatnot. So other than that, good luck tonight, and thanks for watching.